Okay, how to? I want to, pick up best best scheme, so you will have a more space. I don't know what's wrong. Is it okay? Okay, let me try to open YouTube without live, without sound, and see what we have, how it looks like. Oh, I see. Stream is alive. Let me turn sound off. Just 1 second. Okay. Okay, sound is off. Perfect. Oh, we have one more guest. Hi, Bilal. Thank you for joining. Hello.
Hi, Bilal, from me too.
Hi, everyone.
Just 1 second. I just tried 1 second. I'll try to get the best scheme, and not sure what is it. Okay. Yeah, it looks better now. And we have one more guest. Hello, Sarva. Is the correct pronunciation? Sarva. Okay. Okay. Let's try start. Okay, maybe we can start, I think. So today we invited Ivan to tell us. If you don't mind, I'll make a short introduction and you'll continue provide more details. Ivan successfully started contributing to Quarkus, and so far he have I don't remember how much more than five pull requests successful. Accept pull requests, and I think personally for me it sounds quite interesting and challenging. So I asked Ivan to join us and tell us how to start, how to, in many terms, like in technical, in how to find the good first issues for fix, how to communicate project owners, what potential bottlenecks you met and how you overcame them, and all this stuff. I think it's quite interesting. So please, now your stage.
Yeah, thank you, Mikola. So, thank you for inviting me here today to share my experience, how I started contributing to Quarkus project. So, before, so before that, 2 sentences about me. I am a software developer for about 15 years now, and I mostly work in Java world, although I used a few other technologies, C++, C Sharp, of course, some SQL, HTML, CSS, all the stuff that goes around, but Java is my main language that I work on daily. And since some time ago, I became interested in contributing to open source projects because I use a lot of them almost every day, and I wanted to contribute something back to the community. But before this, so my contributions to open source were pretty hectic. So here and there, I would see some interesting project or library or whatever, then I would try to see if they have some issues, then try to download the code, build it, see which issues they have open, then I will try to contribute. Then after my PR was accepted, I would just move on to some other project, same story, then move on to some other. So there wasn't much consistency. But then a few weeks ago, I actually saw a tweet from one guy I follow. His name is Helber Belmiro. And I said, okay, let's see which projects does he contribute to. And it turns out that he's one of the contributors to Quarkus. And I said, okay, that sounds nice. I actually never used Quarkus professionally, but I follow its development for some time now. So let's see how can I maybe contribute to Quarkus. And then I went to their GitHub, so that they have a bunch of projects, and I saw one of them that Helber was contributor to. So maybe first takeaway, if you want to contribute to something, it's probably the best to be some library or some project that you use regularly, because you already know what it is about. If you try to just find some random project, it's hit and miss. Maybe you will like it, maybe you won't. Maybe it will take some more time for you to see what it is about. You don't know people who contribute there. So it's probably the best to start with something that you're at least a bit familiar with. And then when you find it, or find one, two, three candidate projects, what it... Oh, Mikola, is it
Sorry.
you? Everything okay? Can you stay, or...
Yeah, sorry, it's just air alarm. Sorry, it's okay. No worries.
Okay. Yeah, the first thing you should look at is the open issues, and a lot of projects have labels and use the same label, like good first issue, and it's usually the simplest problems that this project has, but nobody tackled them yet. So I would recommend to start from it. That's of course you don't have to, but it's usually the best tactics to start. So in my Quarkus Odyssey, I found one issue that is labeled as good first issue in the Quarkus open API, or Swagger open API, something like that, sub-project. So they needed to move existing documentation, which is README, in some README file in GitHub, to make it or to move it into some standard way that other Quarkus extensions use. So I first said, hey, you guys, do you still need help with this? They said, yeah, of course, thank you for volunteering. And said, fine, I will do it. If you still need help, I will do it. Interestingly enough, that issue is still open. I still didn't finish it. But then I decided to go even simpler way. So maybe the second takeaway is that you don't start digging into code immediately. If you want to contribute to some project, take your time, play with it a bit, see how the project is built, how can you run it locally, read a few code files, see which code style do they use, try to run some tests. No, just explore, just play around. It it will probably take 1, 2, 3 hours of your time, but it helps tremendously for you to get the feel a bit how this project lives, how it breathes, how people are tests fast enough. Can you build it without problems? Is the documentation how to run projects for the first time? Is it good? Does it miss something? And so on and so forth. So take your time and slowly explore it. And then when you do, after a few hours, you will have a bit of a feeling about the project. Then try to do the simplest thing you can possibly do. And I literally mean the simplest one. My first PR that is accepted in Quarkus project was actually to the sub-project that builds documentation for all other projects. And what I did, I saw the instructions about how to run this building of documentation, and I saw, hey, they didn't actually write which node version to use. So I have to find it out on my own. And then I did. I actually saw the code they used for the GitHub Actions, and it said node 16 there. And I said, okay, why is this not in the README? Why is this? Why there is no way to enforce users to actually use node 16 when they build this? So I opened the PR with one line of code, one line, and it was about 10 bytes, which literally added the nvm rc file, which tells if you use nvm, that is node version manager, that it tells to nvm, hey, use node 16 when you build this. I created a PR, added this one file, and said, hey guys, I added this because of that and that reason. And in, I think, less than 1 or 2 hours later, it was merged. So one of the contributors saw this. He just wrote, hey, neat idea, super, thank you for this. So yeah, no problem. And he merged it. So it was my first accepted PR in Quarkus project. So one line of code, 10 bytes, but it was accepted, and officially I became contributor to Quarkus because of that. So that might be another takeaway for you. Do not wait to have some big idea, some big PR that solves some super difficult problem that nobody solved it for months. No, start from the very, very simple thing. Literally nothing is small enough. One line can sometimes be enough for your PR to be helpful and to be accepted. And even this whole idea of, we're developers, we want to make some big contribution, and we say, I have to make some important PR so that maintainers of the project see that I am super developer who understands there. No, start from small things, and believe me, small PRs have the biggest chance to be accepted very quickly and almost always without questions, because they're small, so they're very, very focused. So your best bet, make PR that is very small for the start. And then
Sorry for
that PR
interruption.
got accepted.
Quick question before I forget.
Yes.
How long it took for this pull request to be accepted after it was committed?
After it was created, less than 2 hours.
Great timing.
Yes, it turned out with this and all the other PRs that Quarkus community is really responsive. So I had some, say, different experiences before in some other projects that I open PR, which is also small, maybe it touches 2-3 files, 10 lines of code, nothing big, and that it sits there and rots for weeks, sometimes for months. Oh, and I would even tag maintainers, everybody that I could find, say, hey guys, can you please review it? Can you look at this PR? Please don't let it rot. No reply, no answer, no nothing. So I had experiences like that. Of course, I know it's open source. A lot of people working on open source are volunteers. They're not paid for it. They have day jobs. They have families to feed. It's not highest priority. All of that. They don't owe us anything. So if that happens to you, that you spend 2-3 hours, do some code, open PR, and then nothing, try it, push it a little bit, 2-3 times, say, hey, can you please review it? Maybe, is it okay? Do I need to change something? Blah, blah. But if there is no reply, there is no reply. It's not your fault. Move to some other project. It's just, that's the way it is. Yeah. But okay, to get back to Quarkus. What I did after this first PR was merged, I actually tweeted about it. Even though it's very small, very simple, maybe somebody would say, that's really too small, so nothing really to brag about. Maybe I better keep my mouth shut. No, I tweeted about it. I wrote how responsive Quarkus community is. I mentioned on Twitter, so Quarkus project, and I mentioned the guy who merged my PR, so one of the maintainers. And I said, thank you, it was really fast, you merged it, so the guy merged it in less than 2 hours. It was a pleasure to contribute to Quarkus community, blah, blah. And what happened? So he retweeted it, liked it. Then other guys who are involved in Quarkus started liking and or retweeting it. And in a day, that tweet had like 300 views, 6, 7, 8 people, developers working for Red Hat. So Red Hat is main contributor to Quarkus. They liked it, and it was team leads, engineering managers, some architects there. So all of a sudden, people that didn't have any idea who am I started liking and retweeting this. So I gave them something. I gave them PR. I gave them a little bit of visibility on Twitter, mentioned them that they are super responsive community and all that. And in reciprocity, they gave me a lot of visibility by liking and retweeting my tweet. And not only that, that a few of, say, senior developers or architects and engineering managers like that, from every such tweet, I get 2-3 new followers every time. Because somebody sees that tweet, then says, okay, let's see the other tweets this guy has. Oh, he has a website. Let's go there, check it out. Maybe reads one of my articles. And I always get 2-3 new followers from that. So it's like super nice symbiotic relationship as soon as you contribute to something, thank the people who merged your PR, thank the project. You will always see that you get something back for it. So it's definitely not, say, wasted time in any way. So another takeaway, your contribution, no matter how small it is, announce it to people. Do it on Twitter, on LinkedIn, Mastodon, whatever platform do you use. Just not try to not make it about yourself. Yeah, don't just write, oh yeah, I have this PR that is accepted, I'm the best. No, thank the guy who merged it, thank the project, say a few nice words about them because they were nice to you. People will get that you contributed to that. Put a link to your PR, of course, but make it more about them than about you, and it will pay back to you. I promise.
Great point. Thank you. And I know you have more than one PR. Maybe you can tell a couple of words about other PRs, like how you find them, how you made them.
Yes, I have two more that were merged this week. So when I contributed this first PR, I saw that, as I said, it's to a project that builds documentation for all Quarkus extensions there are. And there are a lot of extensions there. And also when I actually built them, I saw, hey, there is a bunch of warnings and errors while building this documentation. Why is that? How come that there are 30, 40 warnings and 20 errors there? And then I started digging a bit more, and I found out that this documentation for Quarkus extensions is written in using a tool called ASCII Doctor. So it's one of the say documentation systems similar to Markdown. Like in Markdown, you put some special characters like hashes and for headings. Then I know dashes to make a list. Some special markers to make bold, italic, and so on and so forth. So ASCII Doctor is similar to that, with a bit more power. I knew about ASCII Doctor. I've seen it here and there a few times, but I'm in no way anything close to expert being there. At best, I'm beginner. So when I found out about all these warnings and errors, I said, okay, let's go one by one and see which Quarkus extensions have these warnings and errors. And I made a list of, say, about 12, 13 of them. I said, okay, the first one, Quarkus Groovy, go there, see their documentation, find out why ASCII Doctor is giving warning there. That again took me about two hours maybe to research. But when I had an idea why is it happening, I tried to solve it. It took me maybe another half an hour to solve all those warnings. I said, great, now it's time to open another PR in this Quarkus Groovy extension because I solved warnings in building their documentation. So, of course, next day I opened PR. Again, I said, hey guys, when building documentation, there are some warnings. I fixed them. Can you please take a look? Again, in about 1 or 2 hours, maintainer responded, say, hey, cool, nice PR. Can you maybe do it a little bit different? Maybe this is better way to do. Then I said, yes, it is, but no. So we exchanged 2-3 messages. We found a bit better solution. which of course I pushed. He accepted. PR was merged. Done. My second PR to Quarkus was merged, and you may guess what I did next. Twitter, find the guy who merged it, mention him, mention Quarkus project. Hey guys, you're super responsive. Thank you. Blah blah. A link to PR. Of course, cycle repeats again. He retweeted, then his boss saw it. He retweeted. Pop. Again, senior developers, architects at Red Hat, up to the, and I'm not even kidding, co-creator of Quarkus retweeted it, and he wrote something like, yeah, this is a nice example. Quarkus is built for community by community. So in just a few days, I went from 0 to 2 PRs, and from 0 visibility there to, again, about 10 people in Red Hat, up to co-creator of Quarkus, at least knowing that I'm here. I contribute to Quarkus. Maybe those are still small PRs, but at least I'm visible to them. And again, the story, 2-3 new followers on Twitter, some retweets, and so on and so forth. Of course, when I saw that another project that is very responsive, I said, hey, from the previous PR, I have another 11, 12 of these extensions that have errors in their documentation. Let's move to the next one. So yesterday or 2 days ago, yep, next one, fix warnings, PR, all the same story. Again, merged in less than an hour. So now I have 3 PRs merged there, and because there is another 10 of those extensions that have documentation warnings, guess what I will do next week? So every day or every 2 days, whenever I have time, I will fix one by one, make a PR. When it's closed, tweet about it, pop. So what will be the final result of this effort of mine? Maybe in, say, 10 days or so, the whole Quarkus project will build its documentation without a single warning or error. That is my goal. And I'm sure I will do it. I don't see what could stop me there. In the process, so the end result will be Quarkus will be better. I really hate building errors and warnings. Yeah. Some people, I will get some visibility. For me, I will learn. I have already learned a bit about ASCII Doctor. For sure, I can now put it on my CV. Yeah, I know ASCII Doctor. I'm not an expert still, but I know way more than I did 1 week ago. And so I'm talking to you now. Yeah, before, say, last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, Mikola wouldn't have called me to share this with all of you guys. So I think that with just a few hours of my effort, Quarkus is already, but also will be in a bit better condition. Maybe I would inspire some of you to start contributing to Quarkus or some other project. And yeah, the world will be a little bit better. A little bit, but still better.
Can I ask one technical question? So you created pull request even without creating an issue, right?
So from the, interesting enough, for all of these PRs that were merged, there was no issue because nobody noticed that they have problems with building documentation, or maybe didn't care enough, or whatever. But even though the issue wasn't there, nobody complained about it. They accepted all the PRs. Probably some projects are maybe more strict. Maybe they say, the maintainer would say to you, hey, please create an issue first, or whatever. But that's how it is. So basically, you have to adapt to the workflow of every project you want to contribute to.
Interesting. Thank you. Ivan, thanks a lot for sharing. It was really inspiring, and I hope it, at least for me, it really helpful. Seriously. And I want to wish you next achievements. Even after fixing all warnings in Quarkus documentation, hopefully it's something next steps. And yeah,
Yeah, for sure. I know that working on documentation is not the sexiest thing for developers. It's necessary. We have to have some documentation. Hopefully, we can have some good documentation for our projects. But of course, we are mainly here to contribute something more, some new features, some bug fixes, and so on and so forth. That will come. But first, I will still focus on fixing these docs, and then I will move to some bug fixes. Then who knows? Hopefully, some new features.
Rahul says that voice is not in sync with video. Not sure what. Maybe it. Not sure how to fix it, but thank you for letting us know. But anyway, yeah, sorry for this, guys. Yeah. Now maybe I have couple announcements for team. Maybe if anyone has anything to ask or to add in terms of the topic of maybe a little bit wider, even not just contributing to Quarkus, but maybe just about first pull requests or how you started to contributing to open source, or maybe you have some questions about it or some obstacles. So you are free to share your questions, concerns, complaints. You are free. Yeah. Any ideas? Anyone? You can, who is in guest room in Restream can ask by voice if you wish, or chat, and anyone who is on the stream can write in the chat window too. Any questions?
Maybe in the meantime, I can put into Restream chat the links to PRs. So just to see, guys, how really contributions can be small and still be useful.
Please.
Yeah.
I'll try to put it at least in YouTube stream, just in case if someone would like to take a look at recording later on, so it could be helpful for them as well. Okay, I see. I'm sorry for copy pasting by bulk, but anyway, I think, yeah, at least this information is shared with everyone. Thank you. Yep, great. Okay, perfect. Great. And if you don't mind, maybe we can invite you, I don't know, maybe in 1 month or in couple months to know you about your successes in contribution. Maybe not only Quarkus, but in general, like how, what will be your achievement. Just interesting, if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe we can make it like 2 times a year thingy. I will be your guest. Yeah, very gladly.
Okay, guys, if no one don't like to discuss current topic, maybe you can raise any questions related with anything related with programming you want to discuss. Maybe some questions, some notes, some achievements, or something. Anyone? Bilal, Tarva, Vedant, anything?
Maybe while they are thinking, Mikola, one more thing that can be useful. So I saw in a few projects that some new people, new contributors, or wannabe contributors see some issue and they say, "Oh, I want to work on this issue." Then maintainer says, "Cool, super, thank you." Assigns issue to them, and then the first message they ask, "Oh, can you help me? Like how to start?" I mean, of course, everybody needs some guidance at the beginning, but please, guys, don't do that. Like, if you want to contribute, and then first thing you ask to maintainer, "Can you help me how to
Yeah.
start?" That means that you didn't do anything. Like, you haven't spent any time in trying to understand the project. As I said, build it, run tests, play a little bit with it, spend 2-3 hours, try to understand the problem yourself, show some effort, show that you tried something, anything. It's much different if you said, "Yeah, I tried this and tried that, I tried, and it didn't lead me anywhere, can you help?" In those cases, maintainers could say, "Yeah, of course, maybe look at this file," or whatever. But don't expect that maintainers who usually don't have much time anyway will hand guide you to the solution. That's usually not going to happen. Show some effort, show some initiative yourselves.
Great note. Yeah, agree. Thank you. Okay, guys, last chance to ask any question, any comment, any suggestion. Okay. So thanks a lot for joining, for sharing your knowledge. Yeah. Okay, guys.
Thank you, Nicola. So I hope it was at least a bit
Yes.
useful. So to me, it was interesting experience and still is. So yeah, please, guys, I encourage you to contribute to some open source project that means to you.
Great. Okay, so let me stop